Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Iron Man issue 14. And I really enjoyed this issue. There's not a lot of action that happens here, but more deals with Tony's journey of accessing the power cosmic and kind of dealing with the ramifications of that. So we start off and we see that he's pretty much lying in bed trying to figure out what the power cosmic is: matter manipulation, omnipresence, omnipotence, like space and time formed into like energy. It's this whole different kind of thing. Granted, people can call it like a MacGuffin because it can do kind of whatever a story can deem it, but we have seen its different effects throughout the Marvel Universe and what people can do with it, and how not having it can kind of screw you over if you're fighting somebody that does have it. But I do like that they're exploring this through Tony's point of view, since Tony really hasn't had much exposure to directly messing with the power cosmic before, even trying to get his AI boss to kind of like record this. So he kind of gets up close to this kind of mirror thing, kind of touches, like, oh, this is getting kind of freaky, and gets sucked in kind of Matrix style, which I like. It's not over. It's not like overtly smashing over the head with it, but it's like, oh shit. And we get in and we start kind of seeing Tony younger and Tony after his parents died, and him kind of like ruminating on those facts of like nobody really saw him and how that kind of affects him. And I kind of like it when writers kind of delve into what makes Tony tick. Usually they keep to some core key elements, but like this still works within that kind of framework of like his parents usually being more busy than not, and how that's kind of affected Tony throughout the years. Here it's showing that like he didn't feel like anybody would notice him, and that things had changed but things didn't when his parents died, and that he was going to make people see him no matter what, which kind of brings into focus why he has the kind of flashy kind of persona that he does, because throughout most of his growing up it's the famous Starks that are doing all these kind of things, and then Tony wants to be that kind of thing and be noticed. He's like, yeah, let's kind of get with this, but then like a phone call happens and he gets sucked in down, and like Steve's like, hey, it's for you, and it's his father berating him for not changing the world, and he's like, yeah, I'll kind of get to it, and then he of course falls into this junk pile that's his armors and everything. Well, no, he gets to this one point of trying to get to changing the world, but then we see like two giant hands of himself. He's like, oh, okay, it's me standing in my own way, and then get knocked into the junk and everything of his armors before we see like Unicorn talking with Korvac, being like, Iron Man's here. He's like, I'm doing my thing, you rogue kind of thing. He's like, oh, okay, I get this. This is my thing. And it's funny because it does work. Tony kind of understands what's going on, but he kind of hates that he's got these father issues, his childhood trauma, what's going on with Korvac and like the phallic imagery and everything, and that he hates this, and that these are the things that are motivating him part of him, and that self-hatred and these kind of motivations, he wants to kind of change that. He keeps getting stuck in this kind of cycle, and it's very understandable. It's really kind of interesting because it's like, okay, we all have those kind of things that kind of motivate us, and the reason they're so archetypal in these kind of storytellings is that they work vastly across vast different kinds of people, and that we might not all have the same kind of journey that Tony has had, but we can understand him feeling alienated from his parents, feeling like he always gets in his own way to doing stuff, which he does a lot, and everything else kind of motivating him, and hating certain aspects of himself for those kind of things. It's like, wow. Just seeing that with having to deal with the power cosmic is interesting, and seeing him be like, yeah, that's it. That changes. He's like, wow, with this, I can change the universe and everything. And he's like, but I gotta watch out, because if I do it too fast, my friends will come after me and try and stop him, and being like, yeah, you have to be careful. You gotta balance that stuff. He's like, all right, then it's gotta take it slowly, do it for myself. See, and I love the artwork that goes on with this, because we see a lot of kind of cool stuff going through how the imagery is done, but then we see like Tony rebuilding himself. He's like, first I'll do it myself, and then I'll be kind of good enough to say good morning and everything to him to reassure them that it's Tony, it's still their friend Tony, and that we'd also seen that he tried to rebuild himself kind of before at the start of the series, just wanting to help people and be a hero, like Patsy. And we see him like, all right, let's get this done. We then shift over and we see that Korvac is kind of like floating, and then he gets reconstituted into kind of like his perfect form. Yes, I'll beautify the universe, I'll do all this kind of stuff. But then Iron Man's like, hey, and it's like, you. And he says good morning, and we see him in his cosmic Iron Man form, which looks really, really cool. Like that last page shot, just, I mean, that's pretty cool right there. Alright? Like, that's just beautiful, beautiful artwork. And I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to see what kind of goes on with that. And he had also remarked upon the fact that he didn't even think about what touching the Power Cosmic with his armor on would do. Because that then makes it more one with him as well. Granted, it is kind of similar to the Bleeding Edge, but not to this kind of level of what the Power Cosmic could actually fuse them on fundamental kind of atomic levels. Like, there would be no differentiation potentially if Tony did that way with the Power Cosmic. And I can't wait to see what he can do and how he's going to try and stop Korvac, because they're two Power Cosmic individuals. So technically that should put them on the same power level. It's just how you are able to utilize that power to effectively take down your adversary. So that's a kind of big thing. And I liked that it was kind of slower and had a nice introspection on Tony's understanding of what to do with the Power Cosmic, since we've already gotten a lot of what is driving Korvac. Though it would have been kind of cool to see his kind of delve into it. But we've seen most of it already before, and we needed to see Tony's more. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.